Half the people I've heard talk about this film have said that this is one of the laziest, most basic ass slasher films they've seen, and the other half of the people I've heard say it is a genius film that is the horror movie voice of this generation. And after having watched it, yeah, you're both kind of right. I can't really pick a side on this one. You both kind of got some points. Hey everybody, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is part of Thorgiween, where we're talking about horror movies all month long. And this is one that people have been telling me about for a while now. And yeah, like I said, you're not as involved in like the horror sphere of people out there in like the discourse, I guess I should say. And yeah, I've seen people going so back and forth on this one. I remember people saying it was stupid when it came out. Then it quickly changed to it being genius. Then I heard it changed to people being, what the hell are you talking about being genius? You're all kind of right on this one. Because I will say this right now. Okay. Basic premise, Clown in the Cornfield. This girl, Quinn, her mom recently passed away, so she and her father, who is a doctor, moved to this small town where they recently lost their doctor, so he is now moving there to be the new town doctor. She immediately finds this group of people in her school who she starts hanging out with, and the entire town, like all the authority figures in town, they kind of hate them because they're a little bit troublemakers. They're not too bad, but you know, yeah, they're just kids. Mm-hmm. That's it. They're just regular old kids.
Your typical teenagers.
Exactly. But there is this story about how many years ago there is a corn syrup company in town. And it's one of those towns where like the big company in town is everything. Like everybody talks about it. And the spokesperson for this corn syrup company is a clown. So many
mascot, I guess.
Mascot, not spokesperson. Yes, good call. And this film, it opens up with a flashback to I think the 90s, and someone is being killed in the cornfield by the mascot, by the clown mascot.
Yeah, someone dressed up as the clown, or it could be the clown itself. We don't know yet.
Exactly. And now in the present day, these kids make YouTube videos trying to make this clown seem like some kind of a slasher villain. Mm-hmm. They make little short horror films for YouTube, which God bless them for trying something. So many other kids, I don't think would go to these links, but it's like, hey, you know what? That's awesome. You guys are putting in that work. All right. So they make these little short horror films featuring the clown. And then all of a sudden, the clown starts appearing in real life and starts killing this group of friends. And it becomes this big mystery of, okay, what is this clown? Who is the clown? Is it actually a person or is it something supernatural? Because it's one of those things where like the person will see like a little jack-in-the-box appear and it'll just appear out of nowhere and they'll play it. And then the clown appears out of nowhere and kills them. So I was like, is this like a ghost? Is this like
is the jack-in-the-box haunted? Does it summon the clown? Is it like a
curse? Is it something magical or is it actually a person? And that is the basic ass premise of this. But beyond that, what this film is actually about is it is about the generational divide between old people and young people and how old people have royally fucked over young people. And that is why so many people are like, this is the voice of a generation in horror films here. And I can totally understand that. Because let me just say this right now. The divide between old people and young people has always existed. Mm-hmm. It will always exist. But I say this as an elder millennial, or as I like to call it, the young person daywalker. Because yeah, I'm old right now. But I'm still young enough to be like, man, the baby boomers fucked everything up. Holy shit, the baby boomers. But I'm also old enough that I can look at the younger generation beneath me, the Gen Z and Gen Alpha coming up, and I'm old enough that I can look at them and be like, man, I had it fucked up, and you guys are getting it fucked up too, and we're all being fucked over by the exact same people. We're all in this together. Like, mm-hmm. I say this as somebody, again, who I'm getting to that age where I'm like right in between seeing the older generations and seeing the younger generations. When I was the age of Gen Z, there was not the unity between millennials and Gen X that there is right now between millennials and Gen Z. Like, don't get me wrong. I know Gen Z still thinks that I'm lame as hell, and I am, understandably. I'm old. But I have also seen Gen Z and millennials be like, yeah, but we're both being fucked over by the exact same people. So I was like, I get that. I get that the divide right now between the old generations and the young generations is nothing like we have seen within my lifetime, nothing I've seen like within my parents' lifetime. Like, it is huge because, yeah, for anybody who, there's a lot of people right now who's like, holy shit, I did not think this was the conversation I was clicking on for clowns. That's what this movie is. Like, this is not me exaggerating. Like, there is literally a moment towards the end of this film where someone like just turns to the camera and just goes, this was the message of the movie. I am saying this point blank at you. It's like, yeah, you can't talk about this without bringing up that message. And yeah, I think that because the divide has become so big, but also because Gen Z is that generation that's like, no, dude, we don't have fucking time. We do not have, like, we are out right now. And I'm sorry, but unless shit gets said and shit gets done now, we are all in trouble. Like, yeah, that is why I know people are going to look at this and be like, man, there's no subtlety to this. But I'm like, Gen Z, I feel like, is the generation that does not have time for subtlety because everything is on fire and dying. Yeah, I saw a post that someone made online that said that they were a Gen Z person. And they said, the reason why my generation is not willing to vote for people unless they can give us actual solutions right here, right now that immediately make things better is because we saw Gen X in 2008 lose all their investments in the 2008 economic collapse. Then we saw millennials go into debt, going to college, and then when they got out of college, there were no jobs for them anywhere, and everything that they had worked for was just gone. My generation is the generation that, I'm sorry, unless you can give me actual solutions now that immediately make things better, I'm not listening. And it's like, yeah, that's where we are right now. Things are that fucked up. So yeah, I know people are like, again, you're probably listening to me like, this is the conversation we're having on the Cornfield. That's the conversation of this movie. Mm-hmm. You would not believe it going into it, but that is halfway through it. That's where this movie goes. And I get it. I am actually kind of happy that this movie was willing to make a message like that. That being said, this is just a basic-ass boring slasher film for the first, like, 2/3 of it. And even when it takes on the message, it's like, you could have told this better. Like, I don't mean that as in, like, I don't agree with how straightforward you're being with this. I'm more of saying this, like, I don't agree with how not great acted this is. Some of the dialogue in here is still just kind of like, but you know what? You're trying for the message. I give you points for the message.
It's like, I know you didn't really like the first half, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah, you were.
I was more tolerable because, like, I guess maybe it's because I'm not into horror movies as you are, but like, basically, to me, it felt like your classic run-of-the-mill horror movie, and I think people are just so used to, like, really bad horror movies that like, seeing a horror movie that just checks everything off the list is actually decent.
Okay, yeah, I will say this. I've seen a lot of shitty horror films. Even though I wasn't really feeling the first 2/3 of this film, I wasn't hating it. Because I have definitely seen worse. Like, I am not trying to imply this is a bad movie for the first 2/3. It's just, to me, it was like, yeah, this is just fine. It's okay. Like, I was watching it like, okay, why is this special? Like, what is the thing? And I don't even mean that in terms of, like, I've heard people saying, like, this movie is great. Why is it great? I need to find what people are saying is great. It's more of like, okay, if you are making a horror movie today that is a slasher film, you need to justify its existence. Mm-hmm. You need to justify to me, okay, why should I not just go and watch Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, like the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other slasher films out there? What is the thing about your movie that is interesting and different? And sometimes the thing that's interesting and different can just be it's got really good dialogue, really good characters. It's a really, really witty. It's shot incredibly well. Sometimes that's all it takes. this is not that witty. It's not really got great dialogue. It's not shot all that well. It's just very okay all throughout. So I was watching it like, okay, what is the thing about this that makes me say this is what's special about Clown in the Cornfield? And I just wasn't really finding anything in there for like the first 2/3.
Like, for me, I felt like that was intentional. So, like, they expect you to be like your typical horror slasher movie, and it's like, this seems like a little too obvious. I want to know what the twist is.
There's definitely, okay, I will say that. It really feels like there's gonna be a twist. Because there's two boys, there's a couple boys that she meets, but there's one, Cole, who is definitely meant to be like,
the popular kid.
The popular kid, but also the implied love interest. Like, it definitely feels like they're leaning towards he's got to be the love interest. And then there's this one kid who she meets, Russ, as soon as she comes to town. Again, these names of the characters are over there, so if you see me leaning in that direction, you know why. But there's this other kid, Rust, when she comes down, and he seems very off-putting. There's something odd about him, not quite right. And it is very clearly trying to imply one of these two is the clown. And they are trying to imply it so much, I was like, oh, it's clearly neither of them. But then who the hell is it? I'm actually intrigued now. Who is it going to turn out to be? And yeah, I will admit, trying to figure it out, I was curious the whole time, and we will get into it when we get into the spoiler section, but when the reveal was made of who it actually was, I was genuinely shocked. I did not see it coming.
I had a feeling it was what was coming, but not to that extent.
Yes, there's a reveal, and it makes you go, oh, and then it goes, oh, yeah, to get as least spoilery as possible. I'm spoiling it with onomatopoeias. It is interesting. I actually really like that reveal. Again, I can't go into spoilers right now, but that is the thing that, man, I turned around so fast on this thing. Because I was like, it's fine. It's fine. It's like a C minus, maybe a D plus. I'm melting as I watch this. And then I perked the fuck up when that reveal came on. Oh, shit. Okay, we're back in there, boys. All right. I'm listening now.
Yeah, and like, literally for me, it was like the opposite. It's like, when is the twist going to show?
Okay.
When is the twist going to pop up? There we go. Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. I remember both of us being genuinely like, oh, like audibly when we watched this. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. It is a pretty good twist. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because we already toyed with the messages, and when we're dancing around the twist now.
We're doing the twist.
Yes. It's pretty good. I gotta give you credit on that. But yeah, I will say this is one of those things where when it comes to the survivors, like all the friends she makes there, I don't feel like a lot of them have a lot of personality. Like, they are very stereotypical horror movie. Like, it is the checklist. Like, there's the jock.
Like I said, yeah.
Yeah, there's the jock, there's the cool kid, there's the uptight girl. That's it. And it even feels like they're trying to do that. Like, there's a moment in which they're being chased through the titular cornfield, and it's three of them. It's our main girl, Quinn. It's the, stuck-up girl. And then there's this other girl who, she's black, and then she makes an actual comment up there, like, it's just like a horror film. Oh, God, that means I'm next. And it's kind of funny, but at the same time, like, we all know that, like, wow, you guys are really just going to, like, make horror movie jokes. Make this like Scream. It feels like they kind of want to be like Scream.
Yeah, they want to be like the next Scream.
It felt like that. And I give you credit for trying, but it felt like you were making it too obvious what you were trying to be. Like, don't be the next Scream, be the first Clown in the Cornfield is what I'm trying to say. And I will say, towards the end, I think that they realized that. Like, towards the end, I think they figured out what this was. It does make me wonder how you could possibly do a sequel to this, because this really does feel like that Daffy Duck cartoon where, like, he blows himself up and he goes, that was amazing. How did you do that? I was like, yeah, but I can only do it once. I will say, though, even though I don't really find, like, the clown, like, scary or, like, intimidating or anything, and, like, I find the kills to be just kind of, like, okay in here, there is one sequence in which they're in the cornfield. I'm not going to spoil it, But there is one like little scare that they put in there that went, that's genuinely good. Way to go on that. Yeah, I think that this film, man, we're going through this review real quick right now because I kind of just want to get to the spoiler part of this, but I find this film to be very okay up until that reveal when I really perked up. But then in the last, 5 minutes of this, maybe not even 5 minutes, last 3 minutes or something, this thing they had to wrap up. They had to end. Again, we'll get into the spoiler part here, but this thing had to cut so fast. They gave me indigestion. This thing had to cut so fast. There is a massive plot thread. Not like a small thing. Not something that you had to go hey, what about that thing from back then that you didn't mention? No. It's literally a thing happening right then. And that thing just leaves. And not only is it okay, well, thank goodness that thing's gone. They just act like it didn't exist. They stop acknowledging its existence. I went, no, that was huge. That is not, we forget about this thing. What the hell happened there? And it's and then after that happens, it goes into one final scene that's 1 minute long, and then it is done. And it really feels like this film was just we ran out of money, folks. The end. We barely got time for credits in here, everybody. Yeah, it's that, like I said, I went from being down here to going way up here. And those last couple minutes, brought it back down again, just there has to be an explanation, because there's no way that was on purpose. That's not in the script. I'm telling you right now, that was not the original way that this ended. Someone said, we run out of money tomorrow. This is all we can film now. Yeah, I have so many questions. But yeah, I will say the kids didn't think they had all that much personality, but aside from Cole and Rust, I kind of like what they do with them. I thought that was pretty decent. I think Quinn's pretty good too.
Yeah.
I like Quinn. I think she's all right. I like her dad too. I like that because this is a film that is trying to make a stance about the divide between younger and older. It's trying to make a stance about how the older generations are just completely screwing over the younger generations. But her dad is actually cool. And I like that it's not trying to be all old people suck. It's no. It's there are old people who are trying to help. We need to support that. Yeah, I dug that. I dug what they did with the dad in there. And he does genuinely have a relationship where it's clear that he cares about Quinn. I like that. But outside of that, there's not a lot for me to talk about here. Will Sasso's in here as a sheriff. Shocked to see him pop up in something. Good for him for getting work. At least I guess. He fell into the AI crowd, so yeah. Yeah, it's so hard to say anything about this film because it is such a basic slasher film.
And we can't really say anything without mentioning the spoilers.
It's weird that yesterday when we were doing American Werewolf in London, it was okay, it's kind of a basic film, but we have a lot to say about this film. There's a lot that we can discuss. And then when we got to the spoiler part, it's there's not really much to spoil in here because it's such a basic film. I have nothing really to say that much before we get to the spoiler part in here. But yeah, I think we've given you a decent idea of how we felt about this film, all the sounds we made while watching this film. I do think that it leads up to a good message. I think it leads up to good ideas in there. It really did turn me around, and then they just kind of dropped the ball in the last 3 minutes simply because they're we got end. Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I'm going to give it a C+. But it's weird for me to give it a C+ because it's a combination of C- and a B. They just kind of both found that middle ground in there. So yeah, what would you give it?
I'd probably rate it a little bit higher than yours because it felt like a kind of movie that I was expecting, and when it exceeded that expectations, I was happy, and then when it didn't, I was oh, that's kind of a bummer. So it kind of went boop.
Just kind of
No, it was it started off with a slow walk and then went into a sprint and then like tripped over the finish line. That's honestly the best way I can explain
That's
this.
pretty good. Yeah, okay, I get you now. I understand. All right, yeah.
So I guess maybe B minus.
Okay,
B.
so you don't have to settle on one thing here. We're not sticklers on this thing. Yeah, it's all right, I think. It's just a shame because the good stuff in here is actually really good. And we will now get into that spoiler stuff for the people out there who have watched this. I believe it's playing on Shudder right now. If you want to check this thing out and you haven't seen it before, so you can go and watch it on there. But now we're going into the actual spoiler stuff in here. So yeah, this thing, it all leads up to they're at a party. They're at a big barn party out there in the middle of the cornfield. And then one of the clowns shows up, starts killing people. And then another clown shows up. And another one. And another one. Another one. And it just keeps going. It's like, oh shit. It's not like we mentioned, this feels like it kind of wants to be Scream. They out-screamed Scream. Yeah, Scream hasn't done this before. This, I think you mentioned to me, it kind of almost felt like Hot Fuzz is what you brought. I totally get that vibe. Because the big reveal is there's a moment early on in which Quinn keeps talking that like the teachers hate her and her friends, the cops hate her and her friends, the guy who runs the convenience store hates her and her friends, which granted they were trying to buy booze and they're teenagers and he wouldn't let them, and then they stole the booze, but they did leave money, so they're not total dicks. That's a
if
nice...
they left money, is it technically stealing?
Yes, because he didn't sell it to them.
Fair point.
Yes. If someone breaks into the apartment and leaves money for our couch and then takes the couch, I'm not like, well, that's still technically stealing, yes. Our legal advice is not upholdable in court. Yeah, so anywho, what was I going to say?
All the old people hate the young people.
All the old people hate the young people. And there's a moment which Quinn even says, there's something about this town. All the old people hate the young people.
And like that includes the mayor and everything.
The mayor who is Cole's dad. And it's just like, Cole, you're a big fuck up. You're a big man. Cole, you just can't be the man I need you to be. And apparently Cole started a fire when he was younger at the corn syrup factory. And his dad has never forgiven him for it. And he's seen as like the troublemaker of town because of it. It ruined his whole life, basically. And
like literally Cole keeps telling his friends is like, I am so sick of like these old people. It's like he said, I want to just burn. Sometimes I just want to burn this whole place down. And it's like, oh, so are you the one who burned down the factory?
Yeah, it kind of makes you think like, okay, all right.
It's like, are you saying that literally or figuratively?
And like we said, they keep trying to make you think that's Cole who did it. But then every now and again, Russ shows up. And he seems a little bit off. Something's different about him. And then, and like, there's moments where you see like, okay, Cole and Rust had a history together. And it's like, okay, something definitely is going on between those two. And then the reveal is that they're both gay and they've been secret about the whole thing. And they actually used to be a couple together. It's like, oh, okay. So that was, all right, that's what that was. But yeah, it's revealed that like everyone, all the adults in town have been the killer clowns. And they have, once every couple generations, they feel like, okay, the young people are out of control. We need to settle this. We need to like put them in their place. And so we need to like make a sacrifice. And I don't know if it's ever implied, if it's ever really like said whether or not it's like for some kind of a weird ritual purpose.
I don't know either, but I feel like they mention like every few generations, like a group of kids will like ruin everything. So like that's when they decide to like kill off the kids.
Which is the weird thing to me about that is that they don't seem to understand the last time that which maybe this is part of the message of the film. It's like a cycle of violence kind of thing. They don't seem to understand the last time the killing was made like this, it was back in the 90s. I'm looking at the age of all these guys. Y'all would have been like in your 20s or teens back around that time. You would have been the people getting targeted by the clown back then. And instead of like breaking the cycle, you fell into the cycle. And I'm wondering if I'm giving this movie more credit than it deserves, or if that was intended to be part of the message as well. Because if so, that is a great addition to that message to throw in there. But yeah, they basically say like, they just come out and are flat out like, all you young people with all your this and that, and no respect for anyone.
No respect for tradition. That's literally what they said.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, sometimes tradition sucks.
Yeah. Sometimes things need to change.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a moment in which the mayor, Cole's dad, is revealed to be the person in charge of all of this. He's the one organizing all these clowns. Everyone is working for him. And he is going to kill his own son. And he has like no remorse for this or anything. He is all in on this idea. I didn't finish my thought first, though. Let me finish that up. Like, I'm trying to figure out, is this some kind of like a spiritual thing where they feel like they have to do this? Or is this a thing where it's just like, no, this is just like, we just know this is what needs to be done. This is the way that our forefathers did, and they did it this way, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, like I said, like tradition and everything.
Yeah. So Cole's father is about to kill him. And then there comes that moment in which Cole, like, just flat out, like, he's got his, like, neck in a noose, and he's flat out, like, turning to the camera and go, you people destroyed the planet. You destroyed this and that, and you're the reason why all of this is bad. And it's like, dude, yeah. I mentioned there's a moment in which they just flat out, like, drop, like, any kind of, like, pretext or anything, like, any, like, subtlety at all, and they just stare directly at the camera and go, this is the message of the movie. And yeah, I think that's another reason why a lot of people are saying like, this is a horror film for this generation, because this really is the generation that's like, no, things have gotten this bad. I'm tired of pretending like it hasn't. I just want to say the bad thing that's happening. And yeah, this film does that, and I kind of appreciate that it does it. Then there comes the reveal that Cole did not start the fire.
We didn't start the fire. Sorry.
Anyway. His dad did. He did it for the insurance money, burned down his own company for that insurance money, and then blamed it on his own son. And I'm like, man, you want to talk about the metaphor of the message of this film? The old person caused the problem that they now blame the young person for, and the young person has suffered all their life for. It's like, I don't even need to explain that one. Yeah, wow, this film, again, you want to talk about something that's just giving out the message there, that's a great way of doing it. That's a great way of working into the story. We see how that applies to the world. Yeah, I think that is a wonderful way of doing that. And even when Cole's dad is confronted with the fact of like, you've been blaming your son for your fuck up, for the thing that you did purely because of greed, and you've been blaming your own son for it, there's no like remorse or no, all right, I guess my son did. And it's like, no, he's still just like, all right, well then fuck you. Yeah, you always were a troublemaker. Fuck you. And it's like, wow. It's, again, I also kind of have to respect a film that you would think in any other movie out there, if the father was willing to do these horrible things, if you caught him in the act, people would turn on him when the truth came out, or like, he'd have a moment of doubt about doing this to his own son. I kind of respect that. Again, this is another thing that makes me go like, this is a film for this generation and the era that we're living in. It's a film that just flat admits, no, there's evil, greedy motherfuckers out there that do not care. Mm-hmm. They will just do the thing, even if it means throwing their own loved ones under the bus, if it means they can make more money off of it. And it's like, yeah, I kind of appreciate that this film just like flat out goes, no, there is no like humanity in there. They're just fucking bad. And it's like, all right, yeah, I kind of appreciate that they're willing to go to those lengths. But here's the thing where everything turns around at the end and they just stumble so hard. At the end, Quinn's dad comes in, helps save the day, but the mayor drives off. And that's what happened to the mayor.
We never see him again.
He just drives off, and there's a moment like when they're driving out of there,
Like the protagonist, not
the protagonist.
mayor.
Yeah, sorry. No, yeah, sorry. And where's the protagonist? They all come together. Cole, Russ, Quinn, and her dad all get in a car and they start driving together, which there's a whole running message in here about Quinn wanting to learn how to drive stick. And her dad is trying to teach her that, but she doesn't have time for him to teach her. And then at the end, she needs to learn how to drive stick again to drive in the car. And she's like, no, Dad, I can't. You got to take over. And he's like, no, here, I'll just teach you how to do it. Just do this. I was like, yes, good message in there. The older generation helping the younger generation. We get it. We see the thing in there. And then one final clown comes out with a chainsaw and Quinn runs him over. And this is how abruptly the mayor is out of there. When this movie is over, I turned to you and said, what the fuck happened to the mayor? And you went, no, they ran him over with the car. I went, no. That was the school teacher. The mayor is wearing like a pinstripe suit.
Yeah, the mayor, like all the other adults were clown masks.
With the exact same clown outfit. Yeah.
Yes. But the mayor was not wearing a mask.
He had makeup and a pinstripe suit. He's the Joker.
He was, the Joker.
He's just the Joker. Everybody else is in a mask and the like classic clown uniform. And also, we saw the teacher was there, and we saw like everyone else in the warehouse get taken care of except the teacher. The teacher just disappears, and the teacher had a chainsaw.
And I was like, oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's the clown that popped out at the end. It was a skinny person in the clown outfit with the chainsaw. That was the teacher. They took care of him there at the end. The mayor is never dealt with, and it'd be one thing if it's like, I don't know where he could be out there. Still, the police are still searching for him this day. They never mention him again.
No, in fact, there was actually like a flash forward or like a time.
Yeah, there's a time skip.
Time skip, yeah.
Yeah.
Where Quinn's father is running for mayor, and she's going off to college, and it's like, whoa, what happened? Like, what happened to the rest of the town?
And then like Cole and Russ pull up, and they're now an official couple again. But that's Cole's dad. And there's no acknowledgement from him about this. And the mayor, like, that spot is now open and vacant. So Quinn's dad is running for that. But did the rest of the town find out the truth? Do they know what happened? Did he just disappear? How many adults were involved in this, too?
Yes.
Is this like... I realized while we were watching this is essentially the anti-Children of the Corn.
The reverse children.
Yeah, the reverse Children of the Corn. Because it's
adults of the Corn.
It's literally all the adults killing the children instead of the other way around. And I was watching this like, how many adults were involved in this? Because if like, did all the adults who were involved in this get killed? Or did the rest of them wake up the next morning and go, oh shit, a lot of us died and our leader is gone. We apologize. Hey, no harm, no foul.
Or was it like, oh, we did not realize this was a thing. That's messed up.
Yeah, or was it like only the people who died were the only ones who were involved in this? So all the other adults woke up the next morning and was like, why are there like a dozen of us missing? What happened? Where's the sheriff? Where's the teachers? Where's this? Or was it a thing where like literally all the adults are involved in this and all the ones we didn't see die also were killed off screen by something else?
We just don't know.
We don't know what the fallout from any of this is.
Yeah.
And with some of that, I can almost sweep it under the rug. Like I can be willing to say like, okay, maybe it was only like a dozen adults. That's it. And all of them got taken care of. And we don't necessarily need to know how the rest of the town reacts to that. We can try and fit that in our minds. The mayor needs to be resolved. Mm-hmm. That is literally the ringleader of all this, no pun intended. Literally the ringleader of all this just drives away. That's it. And then we get one more scene that's Quinn going off to college, and that lasts for maybe a minute, and the movie's over.
Oh, and she had the Jack in the Box.
Yeah, but did the mayor put that there? What?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like whenever someone is about to get killed, like they have a Jack in the Box, and because this is a whole group thing, I would assume that one of the adults puts the Jack in the Box there, while the other one gets dressed up and get ready to kill.
But it'd be one thing that, like, if the mayor got killed, then we'd be like, oh, shoot, who in town is still left to be a part of this? Because everybody who we saw in Clown Mask died. So was there someone else who we didn't see who's still involved? No, we know who could still be involved. The guy who literally got away. But she doesn't even go like, oh, right, he's still out there. Like, no, she just tosses it aside and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, no, you know for a fact that one of the people survived and is still out there doing what? Yeah. It just raises too many questions. It literally feels like they just went, dude, we don't have any more time. I'm sorry. Wrap it up now. You got one more scene we can shoot. That's it. It's a shame.
It's like, I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool if the teenagers that recorded all this, like, somehow, like, they got their footage on YouTube?
That would be great. Like, bring that doesn't ever come back around.
No, it doesn't, but it should.
It's a shame because it's literally the thing happening to everyone in town. Literally the mini films the little short films that you made for YouTube is literally what is happening to the town right now. Again, you want to talk about like using this thing to make a message about the generational divide between older and younger. We've seen so many young people make very powerful messages using the internet for their voice.
Mm-hmm.
And have these people who have been making YouTube videos come in here and like just expose everything to everyone out there. That'd be a great way of bringing this all back around. Doesn't come back around in any way, shape, or form. I mean, hell, the mere fact that they make films about literally the thing that's happening, somebody should point that out. I mean, at one point, they're all like, oh, wait, we're being killed by the clown from those films that we make? Oh, wow. But like, that's it. It's total wasted potential there. It's a shame how much this film just has a good message in there. And then at the end, they're just like, oh, dude, I don't know. Just wrap it up somehow. Keep thinking, the film that we talked about yesterday had less of an abrupt ending than this. Anything else you want to say about this?
I just want to know, like, before the twist was revealed, who did you think the clown was?
I had no clue. I genuinely was trying. Like, that was the thing that was actually keeping me interested. I was thinking maybe it's going to be the stuck-up girl. Because it's like, it's got to be someone we've met. And we haven't seen the teacher in a long time. Cole's dad would be too obvious. The sheriff would be too obvious. And also it's Will Sasso. No offense to Will Sasso, but we've seen the clown. It's not him. So I figure it has to be one of the friends. So out of all those who were still alive, there were like two girls in there and she was kind of an asshole and she also had money. So maybe she could do something like this. I don't know. Like, that's all I could really think of. Because it's one where like, this is the best possible twist it could have been. Because I keep thinking of anyone else they could have revealed. And all of them I would have been like, no. It's not like, no, that doesn't make sense, but like, that I don't feel anything about that. Because nobody else in here had been in the movie enough. Or they were too obvious for it to like really be effective to me.
Yeah, I understand what you mean about like, oh, it's too obvious, which is kind of why I thought it would be more than one person.
Yeah.
Like, I figured it would be like the mayor, since like he's the one who's in charge of the town, so it would be obvious that he's the one who...
Also, it works for the corn syrup company that has the clown.
Yes, exactly. But I was thinking, no, he does not seem like the kind of guy who gets his hands dirty. He seems like someone who would hire somebody else. So it has to be like him and some other person, maybe the sheriff, I don't know, or someone else, but...
Yeah, exactly. It's like it just...
But yeah, I got it half right.
Yeah, you did. You got more right than I did. Yeah, like I said, this is really the only twist they could have done in here that would have really worked and actually was a twist. I gotta give them credit on that. But that's it for day 2 of Thorgiween. Make sure that you come back next time, in which... what we're talking about next time, I don't want to necessarily reveal it. You'll just have to wait until you get to that destination.
Can we finally wrap this up?
Oh, you revealed it! No. Just smash cut to the end on that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.